OK, that's all for my talk. So I'm over to you.
Thank you. OK. So thanks for coming. OK, thanks for the translators, and thanks for the AWS organizations to let us to come here and attend and present. OK, my talk is going to be about Money Tree. Okay, about the containers, the history. It's going to be 3 sections. Okay, the first one is going to be more about the product that we are developing. The second one is going to be more about why containers, okay, the relation with containers. And the third one is going to be with examples, okay, use cases that we have in our company. Okay, I think we can start now. So this is what I mentioned, okay, thank you. And about the sections. So this is me, okay, I started in the company as a senior software developer, and I became engineer manager. Right now, I have 3 departments. Aggregation, that is everything that is ingesting information from institutions. Core, that is microservices. We are oriented to products that is launching the company. And data science, that is the people who is handling and improving the algorithms. Okay, just to give you an idea that I am very backend oriented. Okay. So what is Money Tree? Let me explain a bit more simple than this. It's just a platform that is connecting customers, guests, users to institutions. Okay, we are offering services on top of that. We are a fintech company. Okay, we're in Japan, we're in Australia, and we have around 3 million guests. Okay, maybe some of you already know the interfaces that we are offering. Some of them, they are created by us. Some of them, they are created by other clients or other partners. Okay? We try to focus a lot with the design and the UX. So this is a picture of kind of marketing team. We are offering APIs, we are offering SDKs, we're offering their own apps, and we are connecting to different data sources. Okay? I want to skip this section a bit faster, okay, to talk more about containers later. So business challenge, this is starting interesting. So challenges, business side. First one is maximize customer happiness, offering individual support. This means that we are customer-oriented. Okay, we have 2 departments that they are talking with Japanese clients. Okay, so we are relying on that. We are getting all the feedback, we are processing and improving our own systems. Then we are follow high standard processes to remain most trust fintech. We are a company that we are fintech. It means security. Okay, that's super important. My background is about security. What it means security is for example, I am not able to see the data of the guest. If you are your user and password in our platform, I cannot even see that information. Okay, this is only write only. Okay? Growth teams keeping an extremely healthy and distinguished culture. So we give more priority to what is the quality than the quantity. Okay, we want to create a team that is nice, they are talented, and we work together. Okay, that's very important as a business challenge. Aside of that, technical challenges. Quickly deliver several products across multidisciplinary teams. We are divided by functional teams, so backend side, core, aggregation, and with products, different products that they have multidisciplinary teams. This is a huge challenge to manage in a small startup. Reduce time to market, investing in edge technologies. We have been attending to reInvent several years. We are attending to events like this, and we are all time learning new technologies to reduce the time to the market. Okay? Keep a clean code base, avoiding technical debt. Okay? We want to think in the future. We want to think long term. We don't want just to deliver quickly. We want to use stuff that can be all along the time. Okay? And then the last one, and also very important for this talk, is upgrade components effortlessly. So we don't really have to be keeping the versioning, what is the upgrades, etc. Okay? So the conclusion of this one, okay, ignoring the problem is not an option. In this case, we have several problems, okay, and the option that we are choosing, we are presenting today, is containers and Fargate. Okay? So the question is, why containers? But before going to that question, let me go a little bit to the basic. The basic is we have golden image. That means everything goes into an image and you deploy. Every service, it goes all along in one. And configuration management. You are explaining, like a recipe, everything that must happen, and the machine is going to be adding the elements. So both of them, they have properties that we are interested on. So what is the conclusion for us? Is combine strategies. Okay, we don't have the silver bullet. Depends what we need to do. We create requests for comments. We get feedback from the developers, and we decide what to do. Okay. In this case, let me mention some of them. We start in the company using Heroku Dynos. We use Ruby on Rails. We are very monolithic. In that moment, we wanted to go time to market. It was very important. The worker system that we create to scrape data, it was created with auto-scaling groups. I will talk later more about that. And custom APIs. Okay? After Lambda appears, we start extracting some microservices from the current Ruby on Rails monolithic. We start to extract microservices using Lambda, payments, attachments, etc. Then, after Spot Fleet appears in the market, we start using much more Spot instances, okay, with ECS. This was something I will show you later. And at the end, AWS ECS Fargate. Okay, this is the default that we're going to use after now because it's very convenient for us. So going back to the question, why containers? I'm giving you the reasons right now. The first one and the most important is compliance. We don't really, when the bank is coming, the institution is coming to us, like, how many hardware machines, how many instances? Well, we don't manage any of them. We can leverage to AWS that they have the certifications. Okay, this is very important. So offload hardware and operating system security reviews. So we don't really have to take care about that. We just let to the others care about. Docker agent always updated without downtime. The same. We don't really have to be updating the Docker agent. This is handled by default. And then we have some services here mentioned that own VPC and custom security groups. Okay, this is about isolation, network isolation. We want to keep the institutions that require us to have everything in under their even AWS accounts. Okay, so we are doing a great effort to be able to do that. Fargate allows that. Only HTTPS. They want to be sure that the channel that we are using, okay, is secure. We do that with the certificate manager. We can even with the ACM. We can auto-rotate the renewal of the certificates. So it means that we don't really have to be there in the future to renew manually. Auto-scaling system with application load balancer. What it means is that we just need to set the rules, and when there is more incoming requests, this is by default is going to be increasing, okay, just with minimum configuration. And another one, very important, write-only logs stored in CloudWatch. Okay, it means that everything that is happening in the application level is going to go to CloudWatch, and this application level won't be able to modify these logs. So for audit purposes, it's very interesting. Okay. The next reason is AWS integration. We are a company that we are quite merry with AWS, so it's very convenient. Okay. And this also affects to the last point about compliance. Auditable permissions with AAM. Infrastructure revision with Cloud Trail and Config. In this case, we are sending our logs to another monitoring tools that is sending us alerts with thresholds, dynamic thresholds that we are detecting. So we know when there are, we identify some unknown behaviors in the platform. And then we also, of course, we are having all the system deployed by CloudFormation. So everything we are developing is through code. Okay, we have revisions in GitHub. Okay, the same with the AAM, the permissions, they are also in the repository. So we just need to create a pull request and just use the CI, the continuous integration. Then application code, deploy using code pipeline and code build. So we just generate the image with services that they rely in AWS. We are tracking the Docker image. We are able to track with the ECR. Okay, we have everything there. We can audit that for later if something happens, and much more services: console, tagging, billing, etc. Okay, and another one that is from experience. This is coming from experience about incident mitigation. With the pass of the years, we learn from the services we have. So now we discover some of the problems that with Fargate we are solving. Okay, later I will talk more about them, but going quickly, AMI, the image, are created and uploaded manually. It should not happen. We should do this automatically. But this happens very rare times, okay? It doesn't happen often. Auto-scaling group relies on a limited Spot instance type. Okay, we are saying that our system is pretty old, kind of 7 years ago, and we had only one spot instance. So if this instance is, the market is over, it means that maybe there is less workers to handle your background jobs. And then legacy stuff like VPC and ALB, they are not properly tagged. Okay, so doing cloud formation now, refactoring and moving on, we can tag these services so we can build better. Okay? And then another one is partial testing. If you are just using one part of the image, one part of the code, it's not so easy, okay, to test. Maybe later you're going to discover some other unexpected errors. Then this, at the end of all, okay, moving from one system to another one, led us to reevaluate. Okay, we have more people in the team, we have more experience, we can do it better now. Okay, so let's move on. So this is the conclusion. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Try to use other services providers that they can make it to the next level. Okay, there is something we say that is that to create backups, to create the system that creates backups, the system that creates containers, doesn't provide any value to us. We are not a technical company. We are a fintech company. We want to work in the value in our business. Okay. So the last part, okay, is going to be use cases, examples. So I just want to tell you that we have two examples. The one is new service, so it's something we create from scratch. So why do we want to go to an old technology when we can use Fargate? That's what we are doing. And the last one is migrate legacy system. That means we are refactoring and improving the current systems when we really need to maintain for a long-term vision. Okay, so this is the default part. Okay, this is the kind of graphs I'm going to be showing you. Very quickly, we have the Fargate, security groups, and VPC. Okay, there are several layers of security there. In one side, you can see the ACM, CloudFront, ALB, and Fargate. This is the input, how the requests they are coming. They're going through different processes. And the other one, that is the internal, is code pipeline with code commit, code build, code deploy, the ACR register. Okay, so this is for creating a new image for deploying to Fargate. Okay, the other one is just CloudWatch for keeping the logs. So this is the default, just draw. So the first example, this is something very simple. It's coming from a client, so they needed something to do. It's more technical side. We don't want to do this kind of consultancy, but we are experts with AWS. So quickly, in some hours, we just took Fargate. We took a public image of Nginx, and with some very, very small customizations, we just delivered this project. Okay, this is the kind of overall. This is coming from the client. Is connecting to static IP addresses. That was the requirement from the client. We are using two multi-ACTA, two regions. And these Fargates, they are connecting to the main API. Okay, this is a proxy, a TLS through proxy. So there is no magic. The magic is that we wrote 0 lines of code. Okay, even, of course, the code for the image is there in a repository. Okay, so it was very quick to deploy, and it was a project that could have taken months for doing in a low level. The other thing that we are using is we are getting white label third-party tools. We are containerized. We are customizing. So this is we adding the value there. We are something that is global. We are making it specific to our business, and we are reselling that to other clients. Okay, this is possible. We're using Fargate very quickly, very easy. Here I want to emphasize with the subnets that we are having a bit more complex. That is public and private subnets. Okay, they need to be connecting. The red thing is about the SSL. It's about internal SSL. That's something we want to improve for the compliance. But you can see the input that is coming from the mobile and money tree. Okay, they are coming to a CloudFront with the SSL, going to the AWS, ALB, going to the Fargate, and Fargate is connecting to another service, another provider. It's called Atlas, that is offering MongoDB. So we are connected with peer connection and easily deploy. Yeah, we just need, in this case, a NAT gateway because it's a private subnet. Okay? Of course, we are using more services. Okay, the last one and probably the most interesting one is our worker system. Okay, this is where all the channels that I explained before, they are coming there. I must say that this is a simplified version. This is not everything we have. We have another service that is using serverless with Lambdas, but we have some problems with the timeouts. So we need Fargate, okay, for doing scrapes that they are long time. So let me go in order in this one. Okay, first we're going to start with the blue line. Okay, the blue line is a simple workflow. He's getting a request. It's a job. This job means like, oh, this user wants to refresh his information from the bank or from the institution. It goes to a EC2, and it goes to the institution. In the EC2, you can imagine that there is a kind of a browser. Okay. This is the first thing. This is the basic. So now let's move up bigger. The EC2 instance, in this case, is using an AMI and a code base. Okay? Two things. So he's merging at the same time, two things. In the left side, where we see the manual, we have this creation of the AMI. This is the manual process. This is a process that must have done every year, once a year, to fix security bugs, maybe the version of the OS. So this is something we want to avoid. Okay? That's the first thing. The second thing is, because we're using Chef and we are pulling the information from the code base, we want to ensure that this is going to be working. In the past, we had errors that this, when we were pulling the last version from the GitHub, we were having some conflicts there. And then the last one is about the type of spot that we are using. That is with the auto-scaling groups. When you are deploying, we were deploying just one type of instance. Okay, this is the problem I mentioned before. Of course, with fleet spot, it could have been done better. Now, I want you to be kind of looking at the purple arrow. Okay, this one is the one that is going to give you a little bit more compare with the next version that we are working on it. Okay, so this one means like from the code base, you go to Circle CI, even it's not drawn here, and you go to step functions, which goes to scaling groups. This is only using a part of the system, only the code base. So this version is a bit more clear. Okay, we are using SWF with Fargate, with institution. Here is what we replace, EC2 by Fargate. Fargate now is calling to just one place, the ECR. We are pulling the container. It has everything we need. And the purple one is changing. No? You see that code base, we are going to code pipeline, who is building the image, running the test, etc. Step functions, and then EC2, ECS. In this case, we remove the manual process. There is no manual process. There is no conflicts because we are catching the errors in the first stage. And in the Elastic ECS, we are only CPU memory driven. Okay? Of course, we need the NAT gateway. Okay, so one of the advices is keep it simple, focus on your business, and provide value. Okay? Something just to wrap up. Okay? Anything else? Well, maybe a bit pricey. He mentioned that it has been down. That's true, but it's better to have this service than a developer. It's more costly. Yeah. Still consider a junior service. It's appeared just some years ago, very early, especially coming to Japan. But we have a roadmap, which is very good to follow the roadmap and propose new stuff. Then we have a couple concerns, things that we are aware that who knows what's going to happen about the future of Docker. We want to be agnostic to the technology. We want to work by interface, not by implementation. We don't know. We don't really care so much, but that's one of the challenges going to happen in the future. And the internal VPC SSL that I mentioned before, like how to do the compliant part. We can, but it's just more code.
セルジオさんありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
2つお知らせがございます。まず1つはですね、このコンテナ活用とか技術選定のあたりの、だいぶディープ編ということで、5月15日水曜日に AWS ロフト東京にてイベントを行いますので、ご興味ありましたらぜひですね、こちらのイベントお越しください。で、もう1点ですね、本日の資料についてはこちらのアンケートにお答えいただいた方にリンクとかが行くんですかね、おそらく。そういう感じになるそうなので、よろしくお願いします。以上です。どうもありがとうございました。